So we all know grief is one of those things that's just really tough, no matter what way we look at it. And we're always going to have to deal with it. Death is just a part of life. And I know that that's not necessarily the most comforting words. It's the truths that we have to deal with. But I wanted to do this video to just kind of talk about what this is and what that process looks like for young people specifically that pass away just really too early. I think that, yes, we understand that, life happens and you look at things and you understand, okay, well, this person lived a great life, whatnot. But what happens when a young person dies? What happens whenever you know that this person had so much potential and they just didn't get a chance to live their life? So that's what this video is on. I just want to talk about it. I'm not doing like 5 points or anything. We're just having a conversation, or I'm just kind of talking to you about what I think is some things to consider here. And I'm hoping that you feel comforted with some of the things that I have to say, and that maybe you just have some questions answered about what that looks like. Hey, real quick, guys, click that subscribe button so that you can continue to see the content that I have to offer. I like to do content on mental health and just lots of topics surrounding addiction, etc. Not necessarily just keeping it in one topic, but I want to do motivation and stuff too. So click that subscribe button, bell notification, and you get to see what I get to put out in the future. So you may get something out of it. Okay, so we're talking about grief of a young person that just gone way too soon. Whatever the situation is, obviously it's going to be different circumstances and whatnot. But I just wanted to say some encouraging words to you and maybe just some things that come to mind. Whenever you have a young person that may pass away, and I'm talking about young kid, teenager, young adult, that's kind of the reference I'm referencing here. Whenever you have a young person that just passes away too early, there's not only the grief of them being gone. Usually it's more tragic, or like an accident, something like that, maybe an overdose. Like I said, there's a lot of variations here. And obviously now with COVID, like that's becoming more and more of a thing for younger people. And it's not only you grieving the loss of them and where they, what they held for you in your life and just the fact that they're gone, but you're also grieving the fact that they have this potential that is now not going to be able to be filled. You know that this person was going to make great things with their life. They were going to do awesome things, maybe go to school or just be there with you. They were your best friend, family member, whatnot. And now they're just gone. And I just want to take a moment here and encourage you. If that's you, if you're dealing with this, you're not alone. This happens way more often than people really think. And just, I think it's really important for you to connect with other people, connect with your family. If that's in your family or friend network, don't stay alone and don't isolate yourself. When you isolate yourself, it's not, you're just not, engaging and you're not getting the help that you need to work through it. Yes, grief is a process. Yes, it's going to feel sad and it's just this horrendous thing that's happened. But I just want to tell you, it gets better with time, but then it doesn't get better with time. Time is not the only factor. And I know that may sound somewhat encouraging and discouraging at the same time, but it's just a truth. There's always going to be a hole. And there's always going to be this place where you wonder, what would have happened if this person would be here right now. And, I don't want to say there's nothing that you can do about that. There are things, and if you're intentional enough, you can continue to work forward and move forward. But, it's not doing it alone. I think, so if I were doing topics or points, don't do it alone would be number one, because doing it alone, it never turns out great in the long run. I mean, I could go on and rant right here. I'm not going to go down that road, but I just want to let you know, it may feel like you're alone and whatever your circumstance, I mean, you may be alone. I don't know, but don't stay there. It may be okay for you to be in that place for a little bit, but don't stay there. If this is something that happened in your community, let's say a tragic accident, whatnot, it's important to talk about it, to, maybe not, don't let that be the only topic, right? When you move forward and you're working through stuff maybe a year later, if that's the only thing that you're talking about, then, that may not be healthy for you or whoever's doing life with you. But I really do think that it's important to not do it alone, and do it together within the context of where you are. So just remember that it's important to build one another up. It's important to, try to say positive things, but if somebody's just not having a good day, don't come at them and say, hey, like, oh, you should be over it by now. It's been a year, like, why aren't you over it yet? That's just the most insensitive thing ever. And I mean, that never really helps at the end of the day. And just, it just doesn't work. So if you've heard that, if you're dealing with that, if somebody said that to you, I'm definitely sorry that you're having to go through that, but they aren't right. And however long it takes you is however long it takes you, but you don't have to do it alone. You can get help along the way. Obviously therapy is a great tool, for you to be able to work through things, support groups, grief groups. There's tons of options out there, for you to get involved and for you to share your story. And so if, and maybe I am doing points here, right? I'm just thinking in my head, I didn't script this beforehand. But just, just be intentional, get outside of the box and get involved. Don't stay in your shell. It's really good to be around people. It's good to do structure. And here's the point. It's good to share your story. Like I said before, maybe it's not something that you want to do over and over and over and over and over again, where you're just sharing your story and that's all you're talking about. I think it really comes to balance here. You have to balance it out of really just, taking some time. And if you're grieving that day necessarily, like just do your thing, grieve. But then, try to pull yourself in a place where you can maybe get out of the house and go for a walk, or go, drive down and go to Sonic and get some ice cream or something. I don't know what that may look like for you, but just don't stay in that same place. I stayed in the same place for a long time, and I didn't really get out of a funk, or a depression, until a while after, my cousin had passed away, and I really let it get to me. There was a lot of self-blame there. It was very complicated grief. Technically, I probably maybe could have saved him. I'm not really sure, the whole dynamics, and there's no way to find out now exactly what was going on. But I did blame myself for a long time. And it's just one of those things where I beat myself up over and over and over. And then I'll let the depression get to me. But it's not until I actually talked to someone and started to get out of that shell and got some support that I really got a chance to pull myself out of it and really solidly start to work on being in a better place, right? So it's important, whether that be therapy or not therapy, there are people in your life that are here to support you. But, just be careful with, your friends and family as well, that you're not going to them as you would, like going to a therapist, where, you're intentionally working on some things. Your family or friends may not have the right words to give that support that you need. Hey guys, remember you're not alone in this, and if you're really struggling, just please reach out for help. Get some help, go to therapy, whatever it may take, get in a support group. Whatever it may take, you just don't do this by yourself. And so I really want to convey that message here. And so don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you can catch what more videos we have in the future that are coming. And until then, I'll see you on the next one.